to get your app. So
Okay, so Dave, I just need you after we're done. Send me an email. I need their email and what type of phone, Android or Apple. Okay.
Okay.
And then I will send them. Yeah.
Okay. I'll write down their names and then I'll follow up with them.
Yeah. I don't even need their names. I just need their email. Say, hey, I've got these 5 email addresses are Android and these 3 are Apple or whatever.
Okay.
All right.
So you're looking for emails.
I need the email because that's how I invite them. I invite a free download token.
Okay. Yeah. So kids are arriving now, and then as soon as the bell rings, we'll go and get started. So yeah. Looks like you're keeping busy there, and getting a lot of. Are you getting a lot of invites? Or are you getting a lot of interviews for your work?
I get a steady amount of interviews. I'm speaking at 3 conferences this year. One in Texas next month. In October, one in November in Arizona, and then a 5-day conference in Mexico, in Puerto Vallarta. Wow. Yeah.
Wow. So,
and Angel's is coming across to one of those, right? He's coming across the plane.
The November one, yeah. Yep. And the plane won't be adjusting for curvature.
Do you feel like the movement is growing, or do you feel like there's pushback or what?
There's crazy pushback. They're desperately trying all sorts of things to thwart flat Earth, but it's only just giving it more attention, right? This is since the last time we spoke. This is my app. Hold on, we go here. Whoops. This is let's take a worldview look. So here's the United States. These are people that have my app that are on the Friend Finder. So you tell me if this movement is growing.
Wow. Yeah. So these are folks who are on your app and actively following you.
You know, not just following me. These are people that are actively using what I call the Friend Finder. So you can find people around you and communicate with them. And people hold meetups and stuff. And, you know, if we go down to Australia, out to Australia, my bad. And, Australia's, this is Sydney. Or is that Sydney? Did I get that right?
No, it's Melbourne.
Melbourne, yeah. Is that where you are?
Yeah, I'm in Melbourne, yeah.
Yeah.
that little lake there is where I did my observations, actually, where you zoomed in there.
Yeah.
That bay, yeah.
Nice, perfect.
So, fascinating. I think for a lot of students.
You froze. Uh-oh.
Here.
You froze. We didn't hear the last 10 seconds.
It'd be interesting, I wonder if there's going to be a movement to kind of push for changes in science curriculums, because people who are supportive of the flat Earth are going to push for that.
Well, here's the problem. Like, I spoke with a school in Danbury, Connecticut, and the principal and 2 teachers from the science wing. And just privately, I did a private Zoom with them because someone was trying to get me to present at the school. Like, yeah, come on in, Dave Weiss. I'm like, before you invite me in, let me tell you what I'm going to be talking about. And they were blown away. They're like, yeah, we can't have you in.
Well, it's very interesting here for the students there. We talked a little bit before we had to do all the administrative stuff and all. That definitely generated a lot of conversation. That's for sure.
All right.
As well. So give me a moment here. I'm going to take attendance, and then we'll go and get started.
Okay.
All right, let's go. We need the full duration here because we have Flat Earth Day, the Angel of Light. He is from Australia. He is also in on this, and so much to talk about today. Right. So we had good conversation in second period. I anticipate a lot of good conversation here in third period as well. So let me do this to flip around All right, so that way everybody can see you. So everybody say hi to Flat Earth Dave and Angel of Light. All right. We are very excited to hear from you. And so I'm just going to turn it over to you guys and take it away.
You muted, Dave.
I like doing that every once in a while, or kind of every day. I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown of what we're talking about and what you guys believe. And then we really want your questions. Better than your questions is your globe proofs, because it's 2025. If the Earth is a globe, somebody should be able to give us a proof. Angel and I have been trying for years, and we haven't found one yet. Maybe a high school student could do it. So everything you've been taught about flat Earth is wrong. Everything you've been taught about the globe is wrong. And almost everything except for this class that you've been taught in school is just indoctrinating you into believing nonsense. The reason you hate history, most of you, is because they're teaching you nonsense about history. This is the flat Earth. This is a balloon at 127,000 feet. The sun is right there. It's not 93 million miles away. You can tell it's a local light because it's lighting up this little small area of the Earth. This little hot spot here. Why isn't it lighting up over here? 93 million miles away, it should light up everything equally, but it's not. It's a local system. People say, well, are we the only pancake Earth? You know, why are the other planets round? Well, the only reason you think planets are round is because of perspective, the way our eyes work, and what NASA and Disney told you. And Disney is more trustworthy than NASA at this point, right? This is called a double false dichotomy, right? A fake flat Earth in a fake solar system. So they're giving you, two choices that are incorrect. So you think that's what you have to pick from. If you Google flat Earth, this is what they give you. This is not what flat Earth is. No, this is ridiculous. So if you see that, yes, flat Earth is ridiculous. That's not what it is. You see memes like this, I call this turn up Earth, right? Falling off the edge. No one falls off the edge. You ever go to a lake? Can you fall off the edge of a lake? We'll get into that a little bit. They don't teach you anything about the Earth. So large bodies of water at rest need to be contained. Bring me 5 gallons of water without a container. Can you do it? You can't. You can't. The same thing with gas also. It needs to be contained. So this is just a giant pond. The shoreline of this pond is Antarctica. And Antarctica, they say, is the highest continent on Earth, right? Average elevation is over double that of the second highest continent, right? So that would make sense that it's the container containing our world pond. Remember, large bodies of water at rest, lie flat, and need to be contained. Every country in the world agrees that no one is allowed to independently explore beyond 60 degrees south, which is this pink line. That's weird. They all agree on that. We're fighting, we're in war, but in the space station we get along, and in Antarctica we get along. It's very, very, very strange. So what they did is they took this map that was in everyone's school, library, textbook in the 1950s. They took it out and they cut out the map and they wrapped it around a sphere. And they said, hey, you're not allowed to explore this white area because of the penguins and the ice. We have to protect the penguins and the ice, right? You're not allowed to explore this, right? You're not allowed to go beyond this line here, 60 degrees south, if that's 60, whatever it is. All right. And that's weird. You just got to throw that up to, that is super suspicious, right? Whenever they take photos from space, allegedly, right? We get high altitude photographs, Google Earth of Earth, but at a certain altitude, it turns into a cartoon. But we get real pictures of, United States and everything, and you can zoom in and see buildings and everything. But all the ones of Antarctica are cartoons. Why is that? Why are they cartoons? It's almost like it doesn't exist. Now, Antarctica is a place. It's the shoreline of our world, right? They teach you a little bit about our solar system when you're so small that you just believe everything the teacher says, right? They teach us that we're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. We're orbiting the sun at 66,000 miles an hour, and we're chasing the sun at 500,000 miles an hour, which sometimes they leave out. Most science classes don't even teach that. So we're traveling 4.5 billion miles a year, never to return to where we were before. But some reason all of the stars stay in the same place. Real quick here. So let me explain what these speeds are. You don't even know what 1,000 miles an hour is, which is the slowest of these, right? Airplanes will go 500, 600 miles an hour, not even 1,000 miles an hour, and you're enclosed. This is NASA's hypersonic sled track. Watch it. Can't even see it. right? You can't fathom this speed, let alone twice this speed. You have to believe, if you believe in the heliocentric system, that we're on a lumpy rock surrounded by smooth, curved water that never shows convexity, surrounded by high pressure air, adjacent to no pressure vacuum of space, which violates natural law. And we're moving around the sun 10 times faster than this. And we're chasing the sun 100 times faster than this, right? But when we go out into nature, in the natural world, use our common sense, what do we see? We see perfectly flat, calm water. This isn't moving in 4 different directions at once in curved trajectories in all different directions. This is a stationary Earth. We live on a topographical, stationary level, non-rotating plane. Angel, throw something in, and then we'll go right to questions, because we can talk all day about this, but I want to get to your globe proofs. Because if you believe we live on the globe, there must be a reason other than that's what the textbook said. Because right now, you went to school for 15 years. You guys are all seniors, right? I think you're graduating. And what are you getting? You're getting a piece of paper that says you're qualified to take out a loan to go to more school and to go into debt for more indoctrination. All right. There's very little. There is some in school that will teach you. Like, you want to become a surgeon? Great. You definitely need to learn that stuff. But the stuff that they teach you, accounting, the algebra, you guys all hated that. They're teaching you calculus. They're teaching you slave math, corporate slave math. They don't teach you about vortex mathematics. Write that down. Vortex mathematics, sacred geometry. They don't teach you about any of that, because that would inspire you. You would wake up and go, wow, this is incredible. And it would prove a lot of things to you. Angel, you go, and then we'll go right to questions.
Yeah, so basically the globe violates a lot of natural laws, such as all the gas laws, the second law of thermodynamics, the first law of thermodynamics, Newton's third law. And I'm pretty sure all you guys don't even know what these laws are. But yeah, it's like, how many laws does something need to violate before you say it's fake, right? And yeah, basically the Earth is allegedly spinning 1,037 miles an hour at the equator, and it's supposed to have Coriolis, but PhD Neil deGrasse Tyson said a field goal was aided by the Coriolis, so the Earth spun underneath a field goal. Right. So in other words, if we hover a helicopter, the Earth should spin under that, but it doesn't. And there's many other problems, like with the gas laws, like we're breathing air, it requires a container, right? And if we are sitting next to it, adjacent next to an infinite vacuum, all of the air we're breathing would escape into it. And that doesn't happen because we are a level topographical plane. We're enclosed. We're the center of creation, and we have luminaries above us traveling east to west in a circle to tell time.
Right. Here's the sun. This is our current time. The sky is a perfect clock. It's more accurate than a Swiss watch, because a Swiss watch is set to the sky clock. That sky is where the time comes from. Wherever the sun is, it's noon. So the sun's right here. We're on the East Coast. And so the sun is rising. It's around 11 o'clock in the morning. It's almost 11. 12 o'clock here. Angel's over in Australia. It's around midnight for him, or 1 o'clock in the morning. And so the sun will circle around, taking its light with it. All right. So back now, let's go. We'll go to your questions. We'll go right there.
Just let me ask one question for clarification. Sure. This came up as we were preparing. Then we'll open up for the students and all. Is the nature of the planets? Are there planets? How do we conceptualize like the sun and the moon, or just planets in general?
What's funny is when we look at planets, the only images that we have, other than when we look through a telescope and we see a light in the sky, an actual light. If you look at Jupiter, it's literally as bright as the sun. It's just like a big star, right? But Jupiter's supposedly a dusty, gassy planet reflecting sunlight. Well, dusty, gassy planet doesn't seem too reflective to me. And it's 4 times the distance from the sun. So the sun would be like the size of a pencil eraser held at arm's length. So if you're on Jupiter, that little tiny sun is going to light up the gas and then travel 400 million miles to Earth, where I can see it as bright as the sun. None of this makes any sense if you take the time to actually look at it, right? If we look at, the images that NASA gives us of Jupiter, right? Here's a picture, recent picture from NASA, right? Here's another one. They just keep changing it. And this is the famous one. Who took this picture? Okay. Who took this picture? Right. So none of this makes any sense, right? This is the storm, right? These are just paintings. These are literally like AI paintings. Here's I just did a comparison of the storm on Jupiter to a Van Gogh painting, right? Right? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. And we actually have proof of them painting that and lots of proof. Like, for example, what planet, I'll show you how indoctrination works. What planet is this? Anybody? It would be Jupiter, right? But you've been indoctrinated because I gave you a false dichotomy. So what planet is this? It's not a planet. It's literally ducks in a bay, right? With grass, right? So we've been programmed to see things that aren't there. They show us these stupid pictures and we believe them. Here's them. This is actually in a NASA studio where they have this big model of Jupiter, and this is the picture that they show us. It's the picture that they show us of Jupiter. So again, it's hard to believe that there's this much deception in the world. So I don't want you to believe anything. I want you to question everything and verify everything. And when you say, well, this and that, you have to ask yourself, was the source that gave you that information credible? Angel?
Yeah. So basically, all these photos are taken from a place that violates natural law. Like, so if I was to show you a photo of a live stream of me in Narnia, you're not going to believe in Narnia. Yet so many people just take it for granted that these photos are real, but they're taken from a place that can't exist.
Can anybody identify any of these planets? No. Right. Again, I've tricked you again. These are bottoms of frying pans. Okay. These are just corroded frying pans. If I could zoom in on it, I would show you. These are literally frying pans. Right. So NASA has $80 million a day of your tax money that you're going to be paying out of your paycheck that they're going to steal from you to do stuff like this. NASA's given us nothing other than deception. They're a Hollywood studio. Nobody ever goes to space. So did we answer your question?
Yeah, that was helpful there. I know there was some curiosity there.
Our consumer optics, hold on. Our consumer optics have outgrown their lives. This is Mars. If you zoom in on it, it's a little out of focus, but it's this pulsating, energetic, I think it's sentient, energy source in space, whatever space is, and it's close. These things are close to us, right? This is Venus. It kind of looks like a cell, right? And then when we look at stars are actually amazing, and you can see stuff with your naked eye. Just looking right here, it is. Oops, that's not what I wanted to show. This is where is it? Oh, no, here it is. So this is a star. Is that what they taught you in science class? That's a star. Our consumer optics have outgrown their lies. And if you ask me what this is, I can only speculate. I don't know, but it isn't what they tell us.
Yeah, we have some questions here, so we'll get started here. We'll start with Cheyenne, then Charlie. Okay, Cheyenne, you start.
I was wondering where you got that footage, like from that star.
Yes, what we lots of us have taken this. I did not take this one, but I know the guy that did, but I'm spacing on his name right now. But we have lots of videos of stars that
I've taken videos of stars myself with the highest power zoom camera on the market, and I see
this is our first. Water. You can see this with your naked eye, right? And then if you look at these little circles in here, it looks like a wheel within inside a wheel. Well, there is some scripture that talks about stars and angels being wheels inside of wheels and all sorts of stuff, but I don't want to speculate on that. We don't need to. You can do this yourself. There's a Nikon came out with their P1000 camera a couple years ago, which has 125 optical zoom, and we can zoom in on things, right? But the problem is, think about this. If you understand the ability to zoom, if you look up in the sky, and you see the star Sirius, it's about this big compared to Orion, which is about that big, right? So we zoom in on Sirius and it looks like this, and it fills the lens, 50% of the visual space. Okay, cool. then we zoom in on Orion, and it's almost so we can almost get it to the same size, right? But they tell us Sirius is 50 trillion miles away. 50 trillion. You guys cannot conceive what that number is, right? 50 trillion miles away. But somehow I'm able to zoom in on a star that's 52 million times 50 trillion, right? 52 million times farther than this star. And I can zoom it in almost to the same size. So that would mean that Orion is 52 million times bigger than this star. 52 million times bigger. This is nonsense. Astronomy. I took 4 years of astronomy in college. I loved it. I was awesome at it. People cheated off of me. I tutored people in it because I was amazing, but it's all lies. Every single bit of it.
Okay, let's, we have some questions here. Charlie, start us off here.
Why does it have to be circular? Why not it be square? I mean, for example, Mercator maps. I mean, those are some of the earliest maps that we have, and they're all square. And they show continents being wider towards the middle of the Earth, and smaller towards up top.
Angel?
That's basically your globe stretched out on a piece of paper, right? And if you wrap that around a ball, that's basically your globe. But the Mercator map has a lot of distortions, and like, what was it, Dave? Like, Greenland's really distorted compared to like.
Yeah. I'm trying to, as we're talking, there's a an image I'm looking for. Talk for a second. I'll pull it up.
Yeah. So basically, the map we go by, or not really go by, but a good one to reference is basically the azimuthal equidistant map, which is that map there that Dave has up, or the Gleason map. That's pretty accurate.
Yeah. Where the heck is my? There's a map that shows the actual country size. All right, yeah. So this one here, these are the actual sizes, the dark, and this is what they show us. But if you take these and put them on an AE map, all the sizes match. They're all relatively the same size. They fit on the AE map, which is the flat Earth map. It's the best map that we have.
Let me, okay. You have a follow up? Okay, one follow up, and then Lily, you're next.
Yep. Speak up.
Oh, we can't hear you.
How did we figure out that the Earth was circular as opposed to rectangular if Mercator maps or rectangular maps are the earliest maps that we have? Like, how did we prove that?
Well, we don't know what shape the Earth is, but we can look at a couple things. The sun circles around. I'll just speed this up. The sun goes in a circle, and we can prove that. So the sun circles around, and the sun, the inner yellow line is the Tropic of Cancer. The outer yellow line is the Tropic of Capricorn. And the sun goes 6 months in, 6 months out. So everything between the tropics is always close to the sun. That's why it's tropical. Everything north of it gets colder because when the sun's out here, it's colder because the sun's far away. So right now our sun is marching out, going out, and it's becoming Angel's summer because the sun is approaching him, and it's becoming our winter because the sun is getting farther away. Farther away makes it lower in the sky, looks lower, and it's colder because it's farther away. So if you deduce out here, it's going to be really cold. So this making a circular, we don't know if the land is circular out here. It just becomes unnavigatable the farther south you go.
Also, you got to remember that there's the Antarctic Treaty, that Article 6 in the Antarctic Treaty says you can't independently explore past the 60th south parallel. So we don't actually know the true shape of the outer portion of the Earth because we're not allowed to independently go there and see it.
Yeah. All right. So it's speculative because we don't know the shape of Antarctica, so we don't know for sure the exact shape of the Earth.
Correct.
Okay.
Hey, everybody, a quick message that I'd like to share with all of you. Our lives are filled with toxins in our air, food, and even in the information we're taught. Avoiding them all is impossible, but helping your body detox doesn't have to be complicated. That's where Masterpiece comes in. Just 5 drops under your tongue twice a day, and that's it. Super easy, super simple, and it doesn't even taste bad. I've tried countless supplements, and while generally I'm pretty healthy, I didn't really feel much of an effect. But with Masterpiece, it delivered noticeable benefits. Check out the podcast I did with Terry from Masterpiece, linked below this video, or you can find links directly to Masterpiece on my website, flatearthdave.com, or in the shopping section on the app. The key to health is to detoxify. Now back to the show.
Lily, and then we'll go back over here.
Given your description at the beginning, you mentioned something about cells. And if your belief is that school is indoctrinating us with this idea of earth and mathematics, how can you believe in cells and how can you believe in any single thing that we are being taught in school?
What did I say about cells?
You said Venus looked like a cell.
I just said it looks like what we're told a cell is. You're right. You got me there. I'm just saying what we told looks like a cell. But you can zoom in on cells. You can't zoom in on atoms. You've never seen an atom, but you have seen a cell. And so, I don't study the biology that well, so I really can't answer that. But if you start looking into the study of biogeology, bet you never heard that one before, where geology is really petrified biology, and you start studying that stuff, it'll absolutely blow your mind. But the thing is, in school, if you're told something, you want to get an A, you got to regurgitate it the way they told you. If you question it, you're not going to get an A. So you guys are motivated to get A's, get out, and make your parents happy and graduate. But that is just pure indoctrination. Memorization and regurgitation, at least in this class, your teacher's telling you to think critically, and we're telling you to think critically. Don't believe anything we say. Verify everything.
Yeah, so a simple thing is we're breathing air right now. Well, air, gas itself needs a container for it to exist. We're told that the globe is coexisting next to an infinite vacuum. If that were true, all of the gas would escape into it rapidly, and we'd have no air to breathe. That's the second law of thermodynamics. Right, so the fact that we're breathing air proves that we're an enclosed system, like a giant terrarium, and we don't have a space vacuum adjacent that's infinite in size.
Nora?
With the sun and how it just goes west to east, how does seasons happen then? Because wouldn't the weather just be the same every day if it's just going west to east?
So you're taught
And the same thing every day.
Yeah, you're taught that seasons happen because of the tilt of the earth, right? So you got the sun is so we're tilted towards the sun, and for our summer, and then when we're tilted away, it's summer here and winter here because the light is spreading out. That's what you're taught, right? You understand that? That's your model, the globe model. You with me?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a thing called let's see if this is it. Oh, yeah, there's a thing called the analemma, right? If you go out and measure take a picture of the sun every day in the sky, or the picture of a corner of the shadow every day or every week, whatever, over the course of a year, it'll create this analemma, which is a small loop in the north and a big loop in the south. Well, if you remember the thing I just had up, Tropical Capricorn was a bigger circle the sun makes and a smaller circle. So this absolutely proves that there is a bigger loop in the northern winter when the sun is out south, right? On a globe, it would have to be symmetrical. On a tilted globe, it would have to be symmetrical. But when you say it would be the same season, it would be the same temperature. That's not true at all. At noon, it's really hot because the sun is over you. It's close to you. And at sunset, it's cooler. Now it's cooler in the summer. It's still warm at sunset. Still, there's a lot of radiant heat at night. But in the winter, did you know in the winter, we are 3.5 million miles closer to the sun in the heliocentric model, right? 3.5 million miles. Here's a little example. So I got two people on a field and somebody comes out, it's freezing cold. And somebody comes out with a heat lamp and says, look, I'm going to hold it right here. So this person goes, it's warm, right? It's warm. And that light is directly above that person, right? So it's directly above them. This person looking at the same light across a flat plane, not a curved plane, he sees the light much lower in the sky, but he's cold because the sun is farther away and it's lower. And as the sun moves over without getting it, changing its altitude, it gets lower for this person and higher for this person. It's his summer and their winter because the sun is farther away. Seasons absolutely prove flat Earth. They are impossible on a globe because here in Connecticut, in June and July, when I watch the sun appear on the horizon, I immediately feel the heat. I can take off my shirt. I'm warm. That is the most severe tilt it could be. It's like an 89-degree tilt to my surface, right? And then in December at noon, when the sun is like 50 degrees up in the sky, I could look at it. I can't even feel the heat on my face. It's 3.5 million miles closer. It's a much more direct angle. If you understood what I just said, this completely debunks the heliocentric idea for seasons. Angel, anything to add?
Yeah, that infinity shape that he showed you, it's bigger, it's lopsided on one side because in the south, the sun is traveling faster and to a wider distance because the Tropic of Capricorn in the south where I am is a lot larger than the Tropic of Cancer, but on a globe, they're the same size, right? So in your globe paradigm, you're told that the Earth is speeding up and slowing down in its orbit to do that. So basically, if you're in a car and it speeds up and slows down, you feel it. But when you're on an Earth that's going millions of miles an hour and it slows down and speeds up, you don't feel nothing because the Earth isn't moving.
So flat Earth essentially defies everything about gravity. Are you denying the existence of gravity?
Which gravity are you talking about?
What?
Can you repeat
It's like four different. There's about 4 different versions of gravity. There's entropic gravity, there's Newtonian, there's Einsteinian. There's so many gravity models because none of them work and none of them have been proven or verified. So gravity itself has never been isolated or manipulated or used in the experiment ever. It's not proven. So you just asked me, how come we don't believe in gravity? Well, for me to believe in gravity, it had to be proven first. It's like me asking you, well, do you believe in my unicorn? How come you don't believe in my unicorn? Well, I have to prove the unicorn first for you to believe in it, right? So it's never been demonstrated.
What is scientifically demonstratable and provable is electrostatics. Everything has an electrostatic charge. Here's some leftover party balloons, helium balloons, and I got a button and it's about 2 inches off the floor. Now this wire is connected to what's called a Van de Graaff generator. Now I'm just going to pause this for a second. The Earth has a testable negative charge, and the sky has a testable, scientifically provable positive charge. So anything on the Earth is connected to the Earth. Anything in the air is surrounded by a positive charge. Now, this ball drops down because it's more dense than the air. If I had a handful of marbles, ping pong balls, and a helium balloon, and I held them over a pool, and I opened my hand, the balloon's going to go up because it's less dense than the air. The rocks and the ping pong balls the marbles and the ping pong balls are going to go down because they're more dense in the air. The ping pong balls will stay on top of the water and the marbles will go to the bottom of the water because of buoyancy and density. Now I'm going to add a little more positive charge to this through the Van de Graaff generator. I'm not changing gravity. I'm changing its attraction to the Earth. Now I just proved with science using an independent variable manipulation, I proved that electrostatics is the reason that this goes up and this goes down. And when I discharge it, it goes up. Here, I'm adding a negative charge in. It goes up. I turn it off. It goes back down. I turn it back on. It goes up, right? So I'm, again, manipulating electrostatics. This isn't a theory. This is science, right? This is MIT's drone. It's got no moving parts. It flies due to electrostatics. The XRT-3B triangular military aircraft, they admit that it lifts and propels using electrostatics. No moving parts. So we just proved electrostatics is real. And your science says that electrostatics is 10 to the 36 power stronger than gravity, right? So you can't fathom what that number is. Neither can I. That number is ridiculous. Okay. It is unfathomable. But they say that electrostatics is that basically they're saying that gravity does not exist, right? That would be like we're going to have a tug of war, right? On one side, we have a brand newborn baby. Okay. And on the other side, we have every single person on earth pulling and every single truck pulling also. That doesn't equal 10 to the 36. It's way more than that. Right. So there is no argument. Electrostatics causes things to go up and down. Buoyancy and density sort things out, but electrostatics is the force. Now, I don't believe that number, 10 to the 36 power stronger than gravity. Well, gravity is non-existent. So it's a ridiculous thing to compare it to.
The drone.
So you got the balloon, you got the triangle, you saw the drone, and just the bottom line is, the Walter Lewin, MIT professor, it's electric forces that hold our world together, right? Gravity is a theory. You've been sold it because the heliocentrists need it to hold their whole model together. There's zero proof of it. So when you say you don't believe in gravity, we don't believe in anything. We just know things, and we know that we don't know things. Gravity is not a provable thing.
Also, we're told that the more mass an object has, the more it coalesces into a ball in space, right? So the moon has less mass than the Milky Way galaxy, and the Milky Way galaxy is a flat disk. And the whole universe is actually flat. So look into that or Google it.
Yeah.
We got about 10 minutes left here, so I'm going to get some other folk. Callie and then Lily.
Speak loud, please.
You guys are saying how the Earth has to be flat because the air would escape. So, like, are you saying that like we're covered by like a glass dome or something? Like, how would the air stay in even if the Earth is flat?
I'll jump for it. Hold on, and Angel, you can go. Yes, you're right. Now you say glass dome. Well, there's biblical accounts saying that it's like a molten glass and stuff. We don't know what the dome is, but we do know that there has to be containment. Something is containing us, right? In the Bible, it says that God separated the waters from the waters. So there's waters above. There's lots of evidence that space is really water. If you think about a pot of water that you're about to boil, just before it starts boiling, you got bubbles on the bottom. Right? Now imagine you're a microbe standing inside that bubble. You're standing on the bottom of the pan. You have a bubble over your head. You have enclosed air and water's above. Maybe it's something like that. I don't know. Right? Angel?
Yeah, we know we have to be physically enclosed, like in a giant terrarium, essentially. Yeah, because otherwise we wouldn't have air to breathe. The only way to have gas pressure is with containment, right? So the definition of gas pressure is the amount of force exerted by the particles on the walls of a container. And they tell us we're coexisting next to an infinite space vacuum. Well, if that were true, that's a violation of the second law of thermodynamics because all of our air should rapidly escape into it.
Right. And when you look at a rainbow is curved. Well, to have a rainbow, you need a reflection off of something. And they tell us that it's water droplets or ice particles, which is nonsense. It's a reflection off the dome. You can create a straight rainbow with a straight mirror, right? So the rainbow is telling us what's above us. This is a terrarium. It hasn't been open in close to 50 years. There's plants and bugs and all sorts of stuff in here, and it's self-sustaining, enclosed. Open the top up, everything dies. Put it in a vacuum chamber, everything's dead instantly. We live in a vacuum chamber. We live on a Earth, a spinning, wobbling, lumpy rock with water and air with no containment. Okay. If you can't understand that, the school has done their job. They've indoctrinated you to the ability where you cannot think logically.
Let me get to Lily and then Jessica. I'm going to start working back this way.
I was just gonna say, like, why do you think? What is school's reason for indoctrinating us? I mean, you mentioned things like density and buoyancy. Why does school feel the need to lie about things like the Earth, but can teach us the truth about things like density and buoyancy?
Well, it's not really the school that's lying to you. Okay. Your teacher believed it was a globe and was taught it was a globe, just like his teacher did, right? But at the very top, there is someone lying to us, right? The GOV, whoever you want to call it. But ultimately, yes, it is a lie that we're learning. But the people that are telling us, I don't know that they're lying. They're not lying. They're just telling you.
Angel said GOV because he's a TikToker, and you're not allowed to say the the GOV word, which is, the people in charge. You're not allowed to say that or they slap you down. Why would they lie? I don't know. To hide free energy, to hide the creator, to hide your spirituality, to hide more land, to hide more resources, hide scientific knowledge, hide what's in Antarctica. Hide that we're special, that we're at the center of creation. They don't want us to know that we are incredible, powerful beings, right? Our minds literally, when you're in that flow state and everything's going well and you're thinking properly and you're grounded properly, you manifest your life. Your entire life from now, before, and all of your future is going to be determined. Your reality is going to be determined by the way that you think. If you are unable to think out of the box, then you are going to live in a box. So this is your mind. And what they did is they put you in a box, right? They said, you live on a globe. There's only this, right? You go round and round and round and round and you're not going to go anywhere. And an asteroid's going to come and the dinosaurs are gone and we're overpopulated. That's all lies. All of it is lies. There is no shortages. There's infinite abundance. There is free energy, provably so. There were giants. There were all sorts of things. Dinosaurs are not real. You guys love dinosaurs in space, but none of that is real. Okay? They literally have you believing in their system. If you live on their ball field, you have to play by their ball field rules. They don't want you to know that you are divinely created and at the center of creation.
Yeah, and even according to your globe paradigm, it's admitted that it looks like we're in the center of creation, but it's just an illusion. Well, I say we are the center of creation because it looks like that. And if I could prove to you that the earth is not moving, then we are in the center because it looks like we are, right? So they tell you that the earth is spinning 1,037 miles an hour. If you're in that plane and it's traveling in a straight line, you don't really feel it. Second it starts turning, you feel it because turning is acceleration. You're constantly changing directions. So if you're on an earth that's spinning that fast, you should technically be able to feel it and you should be able to at least measure it with an accelerometer, and we can't, right? They even tell you that the orbit speed changes because it's elliptical, right? So basically you're in the orbit speed as well. It's changing speed. So if you're in a car and it's traveling along and it changes speed, you feel it and you can detect it, but you can't detect the earth doing that.
If you were never taught anything about Earth in your entire life, you would never assume that it's a globe spinning, whirling, and twirling. This is what your science wants you to believe, that the sun loses 4 million tons of mass every second for billions of years, but its mass never changes, right? Andromeda is getting closer by 110 kilometers every second for billions of years, but nothing ever changes. 60,000 new stars are born every second in our galaxy, right? All right, which is ridiculous. And 120 new black holes are formed every second. This is just theoretical nonsense that they're like, I at some points, I think they test us. They're like, let's see if what these slaves will believe next. And they laugh at us because when they separate you from your common sense and fill your mind with nonsense, then they have total control over you, right? They want you learning, corporate math, geometry, algebra, trigonometry, accounting. They won't teach you about vortex mathematics. They won't teach you about sacred geometry. They won't teach you the real math that will inspire you and make your soul sing. Go ahead, Angel.
Yeah, the actual globe paradigm's math, funnily enough, equals to 666. So the tilt of the Earth is 23.4 degrees, or when taken from a right angle, it's 66.6 degrees. The curvature rate of the Earth is 8 inches per mile squared, or 0.666 feet per mile squared. The diameter of the moon is allegedly 2,160, 6 times 6 times 60. The Earth's circumference in nautical miles is 21,600, 6 times 6 times 600. The north and south latitude of the Arctic and Antarctic Circle are 66 degrees south and north, respectively. Now, I don't know how many more sixes you want before you say it's not a coincidence, but yeah.
It goes on and on.
We have to we have to wrap it up because the bell is about to ring here. But we want to go ahead and thank you for
Let me give the final. Listen, if you Google flat Earth or go to ChatGPT, which is not your friend, you're going to get a lot of nonsense. Go to my website, flatearthdave.com, and there's a big banner that says crash course. Turn off Netflix and watch a couple of those videos. If you watch 3 of them, you will be a flat earther.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right.
Wow, time flew.
Yeah.
Time flew.
When
So,
the next class start? 11:30.
but yeah, and we had a little bump there in the internet. So hold on, we have a student coming. Charlie,
Question about
You-
the Giants.
you do have a student who has a question.
Go ahead.
So if you can squeeze her in.
Yeah.
Sorry. About the dinosaurs. It's about the Giants.
Yeah.
Hi, thank you guys for being here. I was actually curious as to like how you thought the Giants became extinct, if they were here, and just like the overall way that.
There's a lot of speculation there, but I don't know that they are extinct. They might live in the outer lands beyond Antarctica. There's a story about the giant in Afghanistan. Was it Angel? The troops encountered. There's all sorts of stuff. I'm offering my app free to any of you guys. Just give the teacher your email address, and there's a section on here which is the old world. It has a dragon on it. Click that, and you'll learn all about the giants and everything else.
All right, thank you.
You got it.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Kids were definitely, we had a bunch of other questions. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get those in. Cheyenne has a question here.
All right. Hi, I just have one more question. I was wondering if you guys like believe in people going to space because like that's if you're like you're allowed to buy a flight to space and you guys could like prove your theory if you go and because like if you guys yourself are going up to space and like it's not a real thing, then
Right.
you guys could prove it's not a real thing if you video the whole thing. And also you guys are saying you can't go like 60 degrees. What is it, south?
Yeah.
Because people will stop you. So if you guys actually go there and record it and prove
No,
that
you
that's like a
can.
real
No,
thing.
you can go there. You can. You just aren't allowed to independently explore. You can spend like $30,000-$40,000 for 3 days, and they'll show you some penguins and some ice, and that's about it. But since I was a kid, younger than you, they've been telling me we're going to space. We're going to have hotels on the moon. They're going to space in 2 years. You can sign up. You can buy tickets. They've been doing that forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. On the crash course on my website, there's a button called going nowhere since NASA going nowhere since 1959, and it shows you how they just keep kicking the can down. You can buy a ticket, but you will never go to space because space doesn't exist. It violates natural law.
Also, what you just did is called a Snoop Dogg fallacy because you don't need to get high to see the curvature of the Earth. You could measure it from the floor, and from the floor in just 10 miles, it should have a 66.6 degree drop in curve, and it's not measurable. It's not there.
66 feet curve.
All right.
Is that what you say? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
All right.
There we go. Let me just answer a question here, and then we have the next class coming in, and we'll go and get started. So let me just take a break here for a second.
Parasites and pathogens only thrive in a body that's acidic, low in oxygen, inflamed and electrically disorganized. In that terrain, blood thickens, cells lose potential, and the immune system becomes overburdened, opening the door to disease. The plasma geo shifts this completely. By surrounding the body with a coherent, negatively charged electromagnetic field, it restores cellular resonance and balance. When the body interacts with this field, water and proteins reorganize, restoring membrane potential. Blood thins, microcirculation improves, and oxygen delivery rises. Inflammation decreases, and pH returns to its natural alkaline range. In this environment, parasites can't survive. The terrain no longer supports them. But here's the key. It's not the device that kills them. It's the body itself. Once bioelectric coherence is restored, the body's own intelligence recognizes what doesn't belong and eliminates it. So if someone asks, does the plasma geo kill parasites? The most accurate answer is, it doesn't kill them directly. It gives the body back its ability to heal itself. By restoring balance and order, the body regains control and health returns naturally.